This is IGN. Capcom announces the next Resident Evil remake. Welcome to your IGN Daily Update. But first, Rockstar Games has reportedly granted the wish of a terminally ill fan whose family member asked if they could play Grand Theft Auto 6 ahead of its November launch date. The unnamed fan was contacted by Rockstar after a LinkedIn post from a relative blew up and apparently caught the attention of Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, thanks Insider Gaming. Anthony Armstrong, a developer at Ubisoft Toronto, originally made the plea on behalf of his family member last month, calling for help from any connections or games industry colleagues in getting the message out. A member of my family who has been battling cancer for years just recently got the worst possible news. He was given 6 to 12 months to live, Armstrong wrote. The reason I'm reaching out is that they are a huge GTA fan, and with this latest update, he may not be around long enough to actually get to see GTA 6 launch. Best case scenario, he'll be leaving us the same month it does. He currently lives only a stone's throw from Rockstar's Oakville studio, so it's my hope that one of you may be able to set up an exclusive playtest so he can have a chance to experience the game before passing. Armstrong later updated his post several times. Firstly, to confirm it had caught Zelnick's attention, and then lastly, to state that Rockstar Games had been in contact with, quote, great news. That's all I can really say, Armstrong concluded, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Grand Theft Auto 6 is currently set for launch on November 19th, following repeated delays. When announcing the latest change in arrival, Take-Two said it was confident the game would arrive then as a more polished experience. And Nintendo allegedly expressed dissatisfaction at Sega during the development of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, after seeing Sonic's foot placed ahead of Mario's. The incident has come to light in an Arcade Attack Retro Gaming Network interview with Sega veteran Ryoichi Hasegawa, who worked on the Wii and Nintendo DS Sports minigame Classic ahead of its release back in 2007. According to Hasegawa, Nintendo insisted that Sega change the artwork set to be used for the game's cover that depicted Mario's foot placed behind that of Sonic's. Asked if Sega agreed to the change, Hasegawa said the game's developers of course made the change for Nintendo. We were like, oh my god, we have to change it or there'll be no deal, he concluded. Nintendo has frequently been reported to be a stickler for its characters appearing exactly as it wants. Another infamous example is the company sending notes to Disney to describe how Bowser should hold his teacup during a brief cameo in Wreck-It Ralph. As it was, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games was a smash hit for Sega, selling 10 million copies and spawning a string of sequels. Alas, the franchise ended after its final game in 2020, when the International Olympic Committee chose not to renew its licensing deal with Sega and Nintendo, and instead pursue partnerships based around mobile gaming and NFTs. Capcom is expected to reveal its all-new Resident Evil Code Veronica remake this year, according to a fresh report. Previous reporting had pinned the still unannounced Code Veronica remake for a 2027 release, following next month's launch of Resident Evil Requiem. Now, noted Resident Evil leaker Dusk Golem has said fans should expect a first look at the Code Veronica remake later in 2026. IGN has previously verified that a new version of the game is indeed in development, while MP First has claimed that the game currently sits with a Q1 2027 launch window. No, there is not a Resident Evil 5 remake that's going to be announced this year, Dusk Golem wrote in a post on social media. Instead, later this year, a Resident Evil remake that starts with C and ends with Ode Veronica is going to be announced. I promise you. Resident Evil Code Veronica originally launched in 2000 for the Sega Dreamcast, and while not a mainline numbered entry like Resident Evil 2, 3, or 4, it remains beloved by fans and considered a core part of the franchise's story. Its narrative takes place around the same time as Resident Evil 3, but instead features Claire and Chris Redfield on a remote prison island and then Antarctica. As for Resident Evil 5, speculation around a remake has bubbled up following a teased comment by Ava Ladare, the voice actress behind that game's character Sheva Alomar. However, as of yet, Capcom is not believed to have greenlit any new version of the game, which garnered strong sales and a mostly positive reaction from fans back at its original launch in 2009. Whatever Ladare is referring to, it's likely not worth getting your hopes up. Instead, Capcom will reportedly finish remaking its early Resident Evil entries with a fresh version of Resident Evil 0, due in 2028 after this year's Requiem and next year's new version of Code Veronica. And after all that, well, it would seem time for an all-new Resident Evil entry once again. Last year, Capcom's Under Wraps Resident Evil 0 remake appeared to pop up on the resume of Far Cry 5 and Guardians of the Galaxy video game actor John McLaren, with the suggestion that he will now be playing escaped convict Billy Cohen. Before all of that, of course, Resident Evil Requiem will arrive on February 27th. Set to feature new character Grace Ashcroft and returning hero Leon S. Kennedy, the game's mix of survival, horror, and action looks hugely promising, even if we're all a bit concerned by that nasty-looking bite on Leon's neck. That's your IGN Daily Update. My name is Tony Jackson, and if you want more news on your favorite games and entertainment topics, make sure to visit us at IGN.com. You can also download our free app on your phone or console, and subscribe to our weekly podcast through the podcast service of your choice.
Spoken Layer.